aspect of our health, looking at nutrition and then linking it with disease prevention. You already know the old adage that says you are what you eat. And honestly, it couldn't be more true than what we want to discuss here today, because the food we put in our bodies have a profound impact on our risk of chronic diseases, talking about heart disease and diabetes to certain types of cancer. But the good news is that by making informed choices about our diet, we can significantly reduce our risk of these diseases and to maintain optimal health. And joining us today here for the conversation would be Miss Mimido Garba. She is a renowned biochemist. She's also the project manager, African Science Information Access Network. She's actually a whole lot, but I'm just going to keep it at this, and we'll be giving her a call shortly as we try to link up with her virtually on the show. So keep it locked right here because it's going to be everything fun as always.
All right, people, you already heard that. The mind and body segment, I always will contribute, is like us giving back to you as the people who take our time to listen to us every single part and every single day of the week. Now, your health is very important, and as you grow older, you'd start to realize these things. Who would have thought that I'll take a bowl of salad and just be chewing on it, and no actual soda, no actual drink? You know, it's really crazy, because at that time when your parents are, stop taking sugar, stop doing that, you're like, let me just have a bit, let me just have ice cream. And then your body starts to tell you what you should be doing at that time. Is so funny, and it's also very interesting because that's the beauty of life anyways.
Yeah.
But yes, today's conversation, like we said, is nutrition and disease prevention. What we eat is who we really are, of a truth, and that's because there are reactions that these things pour up within our system. So if you don't know what you are eating out, or if you are getting, I don't know how many people have very sensitive skin or sensitive system basically. I personally, I'm one person who, when I eat something my system does not allow, I will automatically have the reaction. It doesn't even wait for a very long time to start to manifest that. So it tells that I have eaten something that my system is not in tandem with. So it's important for us to know these things, what we can eat to detoxify our system, what we can eat to stay healthy. And you'd be surprised to know that at certain age, there are certain foods that you shouldn't eat, shouldn't consume, and there are some that should be at a very minimal level. Please, we're not having this conversation for the fun of it. We're doing it so that, we can help each other stay healthy. And I tell you guys that I want to live for as long as possible. And if I must live for as long as possible, I ought to know my physical, spiritual contributions to ensuring that I am healthy and alive for as long as I'd love.
All right, so that's a conversation right here. And just like we have said, today we shall be exploring nutrition and disease prevention, looking at very practical tips and strategies for making healthy eating a sustainable part of our lifestyle. So we are definitely going to get right into this. And we talked about the fact that we have a guest talking about Miss Mimido Garba. She is the project manager, African Science Information Access Network. She's also a renowned biochemist. She's a lot more, but we'll be finding out shortly on the show. So just keep it locked right here because she will soon get connected. She's already connected with us. Good morning. Okay, we have to give that call again. These things happen. Let's try again. Hello, good morning. Are you connected? Okay, she will definitely get on now. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning. This is Cassandra, and I'm alongside Matamata, my colleague.
Hey,
she's here.
nice to meet you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
All right. So,
You're welcome.
yes. Okay. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about nutrition, but looking at it in preventing chronic diseases, because people say we are really what we eat. But first of all, let's even understand what nutrition is really about. What is nutrition?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question.
Yeah.
Simply put, as long as you eat food, you're already practicing nutrition.
Okay.
But in a more standard way, I would say it's the process by which living organisms obtain and utilize food to maintain life, growth, and other health involved issues. So nutrition basically involves the intake and digestion, absorption and metabolism of nutrients from foods that we eat. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that for now, but while we discuss further, we'll be able to expatiate because every terminology I just mentioned has its own parts to play in nutrition. But we'll be seeing how this plays out as the show continues.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now moving on to the next question. Could you explain the importance of nutrition in preventing chronic diseases and why it is necessary to focus on this aspect of our health?
I think for us to probably look at this question, first we need to understand what chronic diseases are.
All right.
Yeah. These are long-term health conditions that progress slowly over time and often cannot be cured, but can be managed.
Okay.
So most of these chronic diseases, however popular they have become, just this morning someone was talking to me how surprised he was that someone died of ulcer, and I'm like, ulcer is not as common as it seems. It's a disease it's also a chronic disease that's actually incurable. It's usually managed by so many people, but there's no actual cure to it if it happens in the long term. So it's very important to look at this aspect because nutrition is one way that helps to elucidate disease, chronic disease, and it helps majorly in the prevention. Let's look at the prevention aspect first of all. There's a saying by Hippocrates that let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food. I'll go on here, but we'll be using that phrase more as we go further. So I don't know, except you want me to say a little bit more there.
Yes, you could. Go ahead and expatiate. Let's have an idea about it.
All right. So when he said, let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food, he meant that what you eat should become what maintains your health.
Yeah.
And what maintains your health should become your food. So even in making the choices for what to eat, it should be determined, it should be based on some factors that are relevant to your health. People shouldn't just be eating because they feel like or they really enjoy this, irrespective of how it's going to affect their health. People should put their health into first cognizance. So whatever is healthy for you should become your food, and whatever is your food should be healthy. So once you eat the right diet in the right proportion, it's going to prevent you from having any of these chronic diseases. But then in the situation where the chronic disease has already set in, we use food now to mitigate the diseases, and that's why we're hearing about terminologies like nutraceuticals, functional foods, medicinal food, and the likes. So I think I should stop there for now.
All right. Okay.
That's nice. Now let's move on to the next question. How do you think the average person's diet has changed over the past few decades? And what impact has these had on public health?
Okay, the average person's diet has changed. I would say yes, it has changed because over the years we notice that a lot of development has set into our society, and the more the development, the more we have new things that are coming in, and also the side effects also on human beings and long-term effects on health also. Now I will bring that home more specifically to, let's start from the aspect of poverty. You understand? How the standard of living of the society has gone up has also affected people's diet, because people are now no longer able to feed as they should. That's the first one. They are not even able to afford to have the proper diet 3 times a day as it should be. So they may be having one or just two or one rather. That is already affecting something in the system. I gave an example of ulcer earlier. So once one is unable to now get eat healthily, we're already looking at ulcer setting in. And then those that are able to eat, are they able to afford the right diet? We have a balanced diet that should be inculcated into food when people are eating. So are they able to afford to have a proper balanced diet 3 times a day? So we're talking about the category of people that are unable to feed. Then we're talking about those that are able to feed but cannot afford to have a proper diet. And then we'll talk about the category of people that are able to have a proper diet but are not informed. I don't know what a proper diet should be like, or are not conscious about their health, because a lot of people do not pay attention on some of these things. they rather fall sick, go to the hospital, pay some huge amount of money in a well beautified private hospital instead of be conscious of what they eat and avoid these things from coming up. So over the years, people's diet have changed, and I also look at the perspective of how, due to the economy, people want to work more so they can earn more, giving them less time to eat.
Okay.
So many people cannot like wake up now and make their breakfast anymore, so they have to just get something on their way. That now, if you want to critically look at it, you don't know exactly what you're eating, you don't know the preparation, you don't know the kind of water that's also going there. So we can be looking at diseases that will also come from that angle based on hygiene of you not knowing what you're eating. And aside that, if you're not eating something cooked, if you're not going to go for some quick snacks because you're really, really busy, because maybe you're doing 2-3 jobs just trying to sustain life, then you have to maybe just quickly snack on something. We will now start looking at the food additives that are put into our ready-made foods to make them their shelf life longer, to keep them on the shelf so you can easily access them anytime. We start looking at those food additives, things like the preservative, the colorants, the sugars, everything that is going in there. So directly or indirectly, you're going to be consuming some chemicals and toxins because of the sources of some of these things you are not sure. So the average person's diet has changed over years. So many factors, we could talk on and on and on about these factors and how they affect us.
All right, that's very beautiful, and thank you so much for breaking that down for us. Now let's move on to the role of nutrition in chronic disease prevention. So what are some of the key nutrients and food groups that has been shown to have a protective effect against chronic diseases, and how do they exert their beneficial effects? Because we understand that like from the start of the show, I did make mention of the fact that certain illnesses require you never to eat certain foods, and certain illnesses also require you never to miss certain foods because of, you know, how far that has dug deep into your system. So let's just have you tell us what are some of the key nutrients and food groups that have been shown to have this effect against chronic diseases.
All right. When you're asking me this question, I was just trying to go around my head and look to point an angle where I could actually properly bring out, because you see, this is a very wide subject.
Okay.
And for every food that we consume, it has a direct or indirect effect on our bodies in a good or bad way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I was just saying earlier on, a friend called me while I was preparing for this. When I posted this session, and then he called me, and then we got into talking about some of these issues, and then I brought up an issue of blood pressure, and I was telling him about low blood pressure, and he was like, he didn't know there was anything like low pressure before. He only knew about high blood pressure. And I'm like, yes, many people don't know that. And for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's a law in chemistry. What I'm trying to say with this is that every food we consume has an effect on our body. Let's now try to pinpoint, let's specify, let's talk about something more specifically. Okay, let's look at a common disease.
Okay.
Like, let's look at maybe cardiovascular diseases, heart diseases, which are also chronic diseases, the heart attack, the hypertension, which is correlated with obesity and diabetes. So I want to use that one because it kind of relates to other diseases also. So let us try to look at how food patterns play a role in this kind of diseases. For someone that is obese, like you were asking in your question, they don't need to contain food that have fats. And it's not that fats are completely bad. There's a part of it called the cholesterol. And even the cholesterols, they are also not completely bad because they have a lot of roles they play in intracellular activities. But when you look at it, it's divided, and we have the bad cholesterol. That is the bad one now. So, in a situation of an obese person, this person is likely to have a heart disease, a cardiovascular disease, because of those fats. And how does this happen? When we consume cholesterol, it goes into our body, right? And when it's stored up, the bad cholesterol will begin to constrict the veins. You know, it will be growing. The more the fats grow, the veins will become thinner and blood is unable to pass properly.
Okay.
This will happen until sometimes the fat will break into the veins and block the passage of blood. This situation can lead to an instant heart attack. Now, in such situations, what should one do? Should we stop consuming oils, or should we not eat any fatty thing again because we are scared of all of these kind of conditions? No. There are other ways, and there are other foods also that are used to mitigate some of these effects. For instance, now, you want to fry your chicken because chicken also has fat and the oil is also fatty. Maybe you can introduce some garlic into your oil, like slice them into your oil just to help tone down the bad fats in the oil. So at the end of the day, you have your healthy food. Yes, many people will now be like, I don't like the smell of garlic, but that is exactly what we're talking about. Because of what the garlic is meant to do for your health, you are meant to try to find a way to like inculcate it into your food and not just like stay away from it completely because you don't like the smell. So your food has to be your medicine and your medicine has to be your food. So I don't know, I might have said a lot of stuff, so you can just pull me back on part.
You're right on track. I think you answered, some part of that. But I think let's just move on to the next question.
Okay, so I think it's still kind of related to what we just spoke about now. The fact that there are some key nutrients and then food groups that have shown that they have some protective effect against these chronic diseases. But let's move to this other angle. What are some of the key components of a healthy dietary pattern, and how can people incorporate these components into their daily lives?
Okay, so we have majorly the most popular one, the 6 classes of food are carbohydrate, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins, and all of that. They are very important to incorporate all of them into the diet because they have a lot of roles that they play in mitigating diseases in the body. So whenever you're eating your food, you're trying to make yourself something to eat, you should do your best to introduce these ingredients. Some can come in form of ingredients, some can come in form of the food itself. Introduce some minerals, you can have some fruits, introduce some fibers into your food, introduce your oils like the omega-3 fatty oils. They are very, very important and they play a lot of roles in mitigating diseases because they are the source of the myosins. I don't want to go into deep biochemistry. I'm doing my best to keep this light on the surface so everybody can really go with the subject matter. So we have a lot of vitamins and nutrients, and they are, when you eat carbohydrates and it goes into your body does not use carbohydrates. It is broken down into glucose and stored. Your body consumes glucose. You cannot consume carbohydrates. When you eat your proteins in form of your meat, fish, and the likes, your body does not consume proteins. It consumes amino acids. So everything is now broken down into what the body understands and can use. You understand? So every diet, every food has a role to play. And then we have this new advancement in science that has shined the light on these particular classes of food. They are called the antioxidants. I don't know if you've heard about them. They are the antioxidants. They are the defense system of the body. They fight diseases. They are very powerful, and they are found majorly from natural sources. You have them in turmeric, you have them in ginger, you have them in cola nuts, in your red wine. So these antioxidants, they are more powerful than any drug. It's self-sufficient to carry out all its activities. All you need to do is to introduce the nutrients required for your body to use and not carry out this function. So when you deprive yourself of the right or the required amount of nutrients, then your body is not able to function, and that can also lead to a disease state.
Wow, I must really say that this is just a way of talking about the fact that truly a man is what he eats. And I think at the end of the day, our physical and mental well-being is really in our hands, especially with the habits, with our eating habits, so to say. But let's move on to the next question that I would want to ask you here on the show. If you could just give us an understanding into some of the common mistakes that people make as regards their health or as eating habits, so to say, talking about following a healthy diet. Sometimes, like you said, something that there is absolutely nothing wrong in you eating foods that are fatty, but it's knowing the type of fat you are consuming and what you need to do to neutralize that fat. Isn't that what you said? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, that's what I said.
Yes. So
Yes.
this is just one among the many misconceptions or mistakes that people have. So if you could just do us the honor by telling us some of the common mistakes that people have when they try to follow a healthy diet. Some people will not eat at all, that even if they eat anything, they are going to be fat, or if they eat anything, oh, this is going to give you disease or that. And sometimes you see them starving themselves. So what can we do if you could just throw more light on some of these mistakes that people make?
All right. Um, you've already answered the question.
Just a little bit. I was
Okay.
just trying to lead you on. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, thank you very much. So, people make a lot of these common mistakes, like you've mentioned with the like not eating. When you decide not to eat because you're trying to watch your weight, you're just calling sickness, you're calling diseases to yourself. Because the body needs nutrients to function. Your body needs these nutrients to function. I don't know how to emphasize this better. So when you want to, if you feel like, oh, maybe you're too big or too fat, and you feel you need to watch your weight, watching your weight does not mean starving yourself. You need to find a way to eat the right foods and in the right proportions and at the right time. That is just what is important. Some people miss their diet. Other people decide to just cut off some foods completely from their diet, which is really, really, really bad. Like I mentioned, the fats here, fats are important. Cholesterols, they play a very important role in the body for intracellular activities. These are activities that the body cannot do without. So imagine cutting off a whole food just because of that, and you are depriving your whole system of a particular function or many functions because you feel like this is going to do this. So we need to get the right information. I'm trying to think about some other things that people do. Okay, then some say they will not take breakfast, others say they need to take breakfast. This is one misconception that has really been going on back and forth. People say, okay, breakfast is very important, and others say breakfast is very important, that they don't have to take their breakfast. But breakfast is very, 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 very important. You have to take your breakfast in the morning, and you have to take it on time. And another thing is, some people just feel like taking fruits first thing in the morning because they don't want to get fat, so they want to do a healthy diet. Taking fruits first thing in the morning is not the best.
Okay.
Wow.
It's because it contains a lot of enzymes that will begin working in your stomach, and then there'll be nothing to work on. Some of these fruits, yes,
true.
they will activate the enzymes in your stomach to start causing digestion, or they will just initiate some processes in the body. Yeah, so once those processes are initiated, there's nothing to be acted upon, and then it begins to work on the biological system itself, which is very, very bad and detrimental to our health. And I don't know, maybe you should help me out with some others.
I mean, one would think that eating fruits is the best thing, as much as possible. Anytime if you get the opportunity to eat the fruits, just eat it. Is this the same thing with the likes of, what do you call it again? Smoothies.
Yes.
Even smoothies.
Yes, even though maybe
Oh my
I think there's a
goodness.
little bit of yogurt in some smoothies.
Yes.
Yeah, if there is, that is just a little bit of management policy. It's still not the best.
But
When you want to
something
have
you
your
can manage.
food, you should have it. You should have it after food.
Okay. Fruits should always be after
Yes.
food. No, I feel like
Yes, have it.
Yeah. Go on.
Okay, so because when you eat and then you have your food, then the fruits now work on it, and then even like reduces the effect of just accumulating some weight in your body. You understand? It helps with excretion and absorption faster. It breaks everything down. The body picks it up, absorbs it, and then you're back. You're okay instead of storing up so much calories. So when you take your fruits after food, it does you better.
All right. Thank you so much for this. So now let's just break it down. Let's bring it down home, a bit more simple for everyone listening to us now. There are so many foods that people will tell you, "Oh, don't eat this, don't eat that." So can you tell us what foods, like top 5 foods, if you want to stay healthy, if you want to maintain a balanced diet, what are the top 5 foods that you need to eat? You also talked a bit about cholesterol. Some foods increase your cholesterol level. While cholesterol is not generally a bad thing, excessive cholesterol can lead to certain health complications, like you have said. So what meals should we avoid, and with what proportions should we have these foods, if at all we need to have them?
The first thing I'm going to say about this is that it differs for everybody.
Okay.
It differs for everybody because so many factors are involved in these things. For instance, now you need to know your medical history and your family medical history. It is very important.
Yes.
It might sound like a lot of work to a lot of people and be like, what's the use of all the whole extra? But you see, your family medical history and yours is very, very important in determining the kind of food you should eat. Even your genetic setup, it also matters, because that's what we call genetic polymorphism. It just means people having different genetic makeup and being able to react to different things differently from other people. So the kind of food, if I'm coming from a family that already has like a cholesterol problem or high fats in the family, we are very fat in our house, then the kind of healthy diet I should be incorporating is different from someone that is not coming from such a bloodline. I don't know if you're following me.
Yes, that's understandable.
Yes. So understanding your family record, some people have diabetes in their family, other people have some other neurodegenerative diseases. So that is, first of all, you need to have that record. You need to be aware of your kind of family and what is good for you. Your blood type also. Your blood group also is another factor. There are some foods that are good for blood group O and they are not good for B. And there are some that are good for B positive and they are not good for O negative. So also knowing your blood group is also something. But generally, I would like to tell us that incorporating fruits and vegetables in our diet is good. If you want to eat rice, you can just take a little bit of rice, add your vegetables. And when you're cooking your rice, you can decide to incorporate ingredients like turmeric, powdered turmeric, instead of your curry. It gives you the same color. But this one is boosting your health, is boosting your immune system very powerfully and fighting diseases. The turmeric, if you incorporate it in your food, you're just enhancing your defense system in your body. But why the curry also, I don't know. I don't want to discredit any ingredients, but if you want to live a natural, healthy lifestyle, then you should try to incorporate some of these things that nature has given us already. So you have your fruits after your food. You can incorporate your garlic when parboiling your meat, even in the oil you want to use to fry, because it fights the unhealthy cholesterol very seriously. You understand? You will even see the way the thing will expel when you just drop it, the way it will expel, you know something is already going on. So things like that, just being conscious of the little things that we have around us, washing your food properly, where you're trying to get natural sources of food to eat, even though it's really, really difficult right now to get natural because everything is fertilized and I didn't want to go into that. So yes, we know the 6 classes of food. Just ensure you incorporate, don't eat yam in the morning, pounded yam in the evening, and fried yam late at night again. There's nothing, that kind of diet is not balanced at all. So if you want,
I feel attacked too, because I love yam.
Yeah, so what you should do is maybe yam in the morning. You can decide to, if you want to have yam and egg, you can decide to add some vegetables, stir fry it when your egg is almost ready. And yeah, you can do that. Have some vegetables with it, and then when you're eating your pounded yam, make sure you're having it with another vegetable soup again.
Okay, I'll try my best.
And then when you but try to mix up your diet generally.
Yeah, sure.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful. Thank you.
I think there is so much to learn from you here this morning, and I must say that you are like a whole encyclopedia. Thank you very much for honoring us with your
Thank
time,
you.
for sparing some minutes to be with us here. I think you said something that would also want you to buttress. I don't know if I heard that correctly. The fact that we have to put some garlic or put some onions in our oil before we fry. You know, my mom, I always grew up seeing I grew up seeing my mom do that, but I never really understood why she was doing it.
Me, I thought it was for flavor. I
Yes,
still do
like
it up till today. I thought it was for flavor.
even me, I just do it because I grew up, I saw my mom do it. So I just throw in the onions, I throw in the garlic. I'm not a fan of garlic, but if it's going to be cooked, I will go for it. But eating it raw, honestly, I know it's healthy, but I won't go for it as always. So I used to see her drop it in, but if you could just tell us the importance so that people listening will also have an idea that yes, it's not just a practice that was passed to generations, but it's something that is very important for our health.
Okay, like I mentioned, we have antioxidants in our body. These antioxidants, they exist naturally in our body, and but the quantity in which the body produces them is not enough.
Yeah.
So we need to get them from our diet, and gotten from mostly spices.
Okay.
And I mentioned some of them. I said turmeric, I said garlic, cod kola nut, and the likes. So garlic, as one of the world's most powerful antioxidants, which has a lot of attenuating effects in different kinds of diseases, it works powerfully to help your system fight through some of these issues that will be coming up. But when you inculcate it in your food like that, it helps to even stop these unhealthy fats from even going into your system. But that's not all. They also have anti-inflammatory. It also has some anti-inflammatory effects. Also, it has antimicrobial properties. Also, it does a lot. Like when you asked me the question, I was just trying to think like, what can I say? What can I say? Because garlic has a lot of activities it carries out. And I want to make you understand something. Whenever you fall sick, it just means your antioxidant level is low.
Okay.
Be it headache, be it fever, be it chronic disease, neurodegenerative, whatsoever it is. Just know that the antioxidant level in your body is low. That is why the disease was able to attack your system and break you down. The moment antioxidant level is high, a person will never fall sick. So things like garlic, they are just boosting your antioxidants in your body, and they are helping you to fight some of these things that, like garlic particularly, I'd like to look at it from the perspective of fat, because that's where it is more pressing. But the other spices like turmeric, do you know if you're just having stomach pain or something like cramps, menstrual cramps or anything, grind your ginger into powder, add it into a little bit of hot water and drink it instead of the Feldin and the Buscopan. I'm not discrediting any company here. I'm just giving some practical tips.
Yeah.
Ginger will help you to clear it out even better, and if it's even affecting your flow and any other stuff like that, it will still help to clear anything that is blocking it. It's also a detoxifier. And it helps to repair the system. So these antioxidants, they are very powerful, and their roles in the body cannot be emphasized. So in any way you can inculcate them into your system, you should be happy to do it. And like garlic, if you have some certain stomach pain and you feel like it's an infection, you can slice your garlic one into little pieces. You just swallow it with water and allow it for some time, and you see it works like magic. So we don't even need to go getting drugs, because most of the medicines we take end up contributing to 60% toxins that accumulate in our body and lead to more diseases that people get to come down with at an older age when the defense system is down.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like I said, I don't think we can emphasize how helpful you have been with this conversation here today. We really appreciate you. Nutrition is very important, and having you here join us on this conversation is one that we really appreciate. Thank you so much again.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much. You've been able to do justice to this, and I must say I'm pleased, just like Martha said. And I got to learn something new. Honestly, I never had an idea that cholesterol is not entirely bad. I just learned that today. So I wonder how many people have been able to learn here today. So you've done so well for us, and it's something that we really cannot overemphasize. Thank you very much, Mimido.
You're welcome, and I was happy to be here. And if I would just leave a message with
Please
everyone.
go ahead.
Okay, nutrition is very important. If you're very conscious of your nutrition or your lifestyle practices, you barely have the need to visit the health practitioners because our bodies are already made self-sufficient. All you need to do is to supply your body with what is required, no matter the proportion. Every you can the world is kind of like everything is difficult right now, but you can find a way to just incorporate them into little constituents, and you see that you keep your body in a better shape. So my advice is that everyone should be conscious of what they eat, when they eat. Don't just live a careless lifestyle. You need self-discipline. You need a lot of discipline because it's not every time cravings. So we need to be more conscious, especially as we get older. Our systems get weaker. So when you put some of this thing into your body too much, your body is now unable to like dissolve, absorb, or hold down the fault like when for a younger person. So for the older people, I would advise that they take their diet very, very, very seriously. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much again, Mimido. We really appreciate you for dropping like your last quote when it comes to eating healthy. And I hope that I'm able to, follow through with what you're saying here. Pray for me, okay?
All right. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Thank you again.
So much.
All right. So enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye for now. Thank you very much. Well, I must say that it was really an enlightening moment. The fact that we got to know so much, and now she's saying that all the cravings. What are we going to do about these cravings? Because there are people that if they don't take shawarma, they cannot sleep. There are people that once they wake up, before they leave their house, they have to take fruit. And I think the fact that she said that, I think I had a very practical moment with this fruit thing. The moment you take fruits, there is this hunger that comes.
Because you're breaking down the
there is
food
this,
and everything.
and I never really got to understand why that connection was there. So listening to her has been a learning point for me, and I'm happy that she's been able to do justice to that. But I think in conclusion is the fact that man is what he eats. That is, we are what we eat, and this is just talking about the connection between our diet and our overall well-being, because it's just a reminder that the food we consume has the power to shape our physical and mental health, influencing who we become and how we live our lives. And I would like to liken this to a vehicle. Just like a vehicle, the vehicles we ride or the cars we drive, our bodies can either thrive or falter depending on the fuel we put in them. So if we fuel our bodies with nutritious foods, regular exercise, and sufficient rest, we'll be running smoothly and performing at our best. And on the other hand, if we neglect our bodies or fuel them with unhealthy substances, we'll be more likely to break down, just like some people are always visiting the mechanic. There are some cars that have broken down completely. And you see, sometimes they say the engine has knocked because they have put bad fuel. There was a time that bad fuel was trending here. People were afraid to put bad fuel in their Mercedes Benz, in their this and that. But if you are afraid to put that bad fuel in your vehicle, why are you eating those things when you know that they are also harmful to your body? So I think it's very important that we take this into cognizance and we are more practical and more aware about what we do to our bodies, because honestly, by taking care of our bodies, we can ensure they continue to run smoothly and carry us through life's journey with energy, vitality, and purpose.
Right, I feel like enough is being said already. If you must crave things, or if you must eat what you crave, there are healthier ways to go about your cravings. And she made mention of some of those. If you're someone that likes to eat noodles a lot, well, I've heard many times that noodles has a lot of calories that might be detrimental. Calories are good, but too much of it can be detrimental to your health. Cholesterol can be good also, and that's why you need to look for healthier ways to go about these things. So Google is your friend. Go and browse. Go to the doctor. There are materials or resources made available to you online. So if you must eat healthy, start to research on better. It's just like when when you start a new job, you're looking for better ways to get around your job. That's the same way when you try to take your health seriously, you should try to learn about the things that can help you be in a better place or have a better disposition when it comes to your health. This, I think, will bring us to the end of the Mind and Body segment of the Meet the Extra show today. Thank you so much for being here. Again, thanks to Mimido. I know she might be listening here. We really appreciate you guys, and we hope that you put into practice or cognizance what you have heard today, because I will also be trying to incorporate more of the things that she has advised in my diet, and I hope that you do the same too as well.
All right, it's about moving practical this year. Remember, the message is about being pretty, not just on the outside, but on the inside. I am Cassandra alongside Mata. Keep listening to Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can always count on.